The biggest flex in Minecraft used to be creating a netherite beacon. You could use iron or gold and get the exact same effect, but instead you would use the most valuable resource in the game. And so last week when they added armor trims, they made it so that diamond armor with a netherite trim was a great way to show people that you had access to netherite, but you were going to not use it. But this week they've gone a step further by making leather armor trimmable, which means now you can apply a netherite trim to your leather armor. This is absolutely hilarious in my opinion, and it looks really great. It's the ultimate flex, but it's one of just many changes they've made in this week's snapshot to armor trims and smithing templates. They've also changed the elytra in a hugely positive way, as well as a bunch of other structures, but also they've got a brand new Create New World screen that some are describing as exciting. And I would describe it as, okay, let's talk about the things that are good in this week's snapshot first, because this is snapshot 23W05A. It's so called that because it's the first snapshot in the 5th week of 2023. Yes, it is February, and that means we're in the 5th week, kind of crazy to say, but yeah, this is 23W05A, and so these are changes that are coming to 1.20. Obviously, they're all provisional, but later, when the update is finished, something like most of these changes will make its way into the update, and last week to this week, they've changed quite a few things to do with the smithing templates. First of all, it is now available on leather armor, which sounds like a small thing, and although most people aren't going to be trimming their leather armor with netherite, although I totally am, I think it's going to be beautiful, you might actually like trimming your armor with lapis, as I've done on my helmet, or diamond, as I've done on my boots. I really like the look of these boots. What do you think? I think these diamond boots on this green leather effect is really, really great. But here's the other thing it's done for customization. Last week, there were 2,300-ish different armor trims available, and although they've just added 4 brand new trim types, the leather helmet, the leather chest plate, the leather greaves, and the leather boots, that still does add up in a very huge way, because now you can dye the armor, and obviously, although you can dye the armor 16 different colors, which adds thousands and thousands of options, you can also dye the armor all sorts of combinations of those colors. So this is a green chest plate with the eye trim in a netherite, this is the white chest plate with the eye trim in netherite, and this is the green/white chest plate. And you might think, wow, so that's 16 times 16, 256 color combinations. If you don't already know, leather has even more than that, because I can take this green armor, green and white armor, and I can make it slightly more lime, and it doesn't go all the way back to being lime yet, as you can see. It's just a little bit more customized. So you can customize them again and again and again, get millions of different colors combinations. Before talking about the trim combinations, Minecraft is now basically infinite in its customization. If you make a weird set of armor, which is a weird set of dyes with a weird template and a weird trim, most likely you'll be the first person to ever create that in Minecraft, and I think that's incredible customization, it does have to be said. Also, along the same lines of customization, they've done a really great change, because now you might want to switch between your armor quite frequently. I mean, obviously before, you might want to put some gold boots on when you're going to the nether. This is my simulation of the nether, hope you like it. And yeah, putting those gold boots on Bedrock is really easy. You left trigger or you right click and you can switch between them. But did you notice I just did that on Java? This has been missing from the Java edition for quite some time, so it's cool to see them add it. But they went a step further than just going to Bedrock parity, which is, nice enough by itself, but they've gone a step further and made it so you can do this not just with armor, which again, it's great, look at this. Can constantly switch between my boots if I want to, but now you can do this with the elytra. Yes, you can finally, after all this time, you can switch your elytra to a chest plate. Look at that. That is such a needed change, because previously you had to do this in midair. Now if you are in, let's say you're falling, let's show you a real world example. I'm gonna jump off these trees, and I think I have my elytra on, because I'm me and I'm just stupid, I can't look at my hotbar, and then midair I should be able to change that opinion and survive the fall. I've not tried this before, but let's see if it works. Oh, there we go, look at that. I wasn't wearing my elytra when I jumped. It's a very short jump, so I couldn't have used the inventory in time, but I could use it just like that, and that is wonderful. Being able to use armor more, this actually encourages you to use armor more often, because you'll be able to switch it out without having to go into the inventory, which you don't want to do when you're fighting something that requires armor. That is a hugely positive change, and I'm in love with this. Honestly, just being able to switch out my boots and be like, I liked my green boots, I thought they were good. Let's wear some pink boots today. You like my pink boots? They go quite well with my green outfit, don't you think? So yeah, I really like that as a whole, and I also think, like I said, Ultimate Flex is the ability to have lots of sets of leather armor now, and I like that they're really kind of leaning into that. So yeah, this is my very, very ugly set of set of clothing I've got here. Do you like it? And so yeah, there's a lot of different armor stand trim things they've done as well, such as the brand new ability. So previously last week I showed what it looked like when you trimmed gold on gold or diamond on diamond, it wasn't great, but now this is what it looks like instead. Putting diamond on diamond armor is a decent trim to have. Putting gold on gold armor is a decent trim to have. I think the iron and the netherite ones are definitely more noticeable, and so yeah, they've added more actual usable options, and I absolutely love that. So very good things overall, I like that a lot, but they've also made the smithing templates better in another way. So as you all know, you can obtain smithing templates by going to the corresponding structure. I've got the whole list here, thank you to Harrison for showing it all up, but here's the interesting thing, they've actually changed the rarity to make them all more common. Anyone who has tried to find these in survival can tell you it is a painful dredge, and so they've made them all more likely, with the extra bonus being the stronghold one is now findable in every single stronghold. 100% of strongholds and 100% of stronghold library rooms will now have this brand new, or this, eye armor trim, and honestly, the eye armor trim is probably my favorite. I put it on literally everything, like, well, you might like these leather pants right now, but do you like them more with the eye armor trim on? I guarantee you do. Wait, let's show you. Look at that. Don't that? I mean, that's a bit weird, but still, it looks better, don't you think? And so yeah, isn't that a wonderful thing? Yes, it is. They've also made the smithing template for the netherite trim. They made that, the netherite upgrade. They've made that significantly easier to obtain because they felt like most players would just duplicate it with diamonds. So instead, there is actual encouragement to go and explore more bastions. And then finally, they made a bunch of, so these four right here, the names escape me, but they're on screen right now. Just pretend I said those out loud. Look at the power of video editing. But these four trims right here are now always obtainable in batches of 2. That is something I felt like I had to go check because getting 2 for every single, pillager outpost you take down sounded like a lot. So let me show you right now by going on a little hop. By the way, just before I go there, I know this is an update video. I won't dwell too long on this, but on Java you can put lily pads on top of fences if they're waterlogged, which just feels kind of wrong to me. What do you feel like? Do you feel like that's a good thing, internet? I like lily pads. I think they're an underutilized bridge source, but let me show you something interesting as I go over my lily pads. Point out there is still not an igloo trim, as maybe there should be, and then show you over here the interesting thing, because I placed a bunch of pillager towers down, and now we're gonna go through them one by one using my fireworks. This is something I had a lot of fun doing on my stream, trying to collect all of the trims. So I'm gonna do this right now. Let's go from area to area, and let's show you what's inside the chest, because it sounds like 100% would have them, but that's not actually the case. Again, the way I read the changelog is they're saying every one of these chests will have 2, but instead the way it works is just, if you are going to find trims in one of these chests, then instead of finding 1, you'll find 2. So right here, we're gonna find 2 sentry armor trims. Instead of just getting 1, we get 2. That is very nice. Instead of, let's check this one. Will we have 1 or will we not? We will, and instead of having 1, we get 2. Now, just by raiding 2 pillager outposts, or in reality it was free for us, we now have enough to trim an entire set of armor with the same armor trim. They're basically making it so that certain armor trims are much more obtainable, so that all players will be familiar with the concept. You might not want to trim your stuff with Sentry. Actually, let's show you what Sentry looks like. Do we like it or not? We'll find out. We'll be very mean to it right here. Sentry looks like this. I mean, it's perfectly fine. I think it's very inoffensive. Let's show it gold, maybe. Yeah, gold, there we go. You can look nice and fancy. And I think that's great. If you want to have this armor trim, it's much easier to obtain, alongside the other 3, of course, all found in 2, as you can see, in the shipwrecks and the desert pyramids, and you can find them all right there, and that's very wonderful. Speaking of things that are wonderful, I feel like I need to mention, before we talk about the new Create New World screen, I need to mention that although the armor trim process has massively improved, I still think there is room for more customization. The idea that I think is a bad one is to make it so that the armor trims have an effect. A lot of people say if you're wearing gold armor, then piglins shouldn't attack you, and now you'll be, gold trimmed armor, and now they should be disincentivized. And I do see the logic internally, but I see why it's a bad decision. You'd have to give every single trim a special ability, and that's a lot of work compared to just adding it. But I do think that something they should consider doing is adding trims to horse armor. Obviously, horses deserve to have armor trims too, but also adding it to the elytra. I think that, the elytra should be trimmable in the, so actually, let me just show you with this. The elytra is currently not trimmable in this, no matter how hard I try you. It just won't go there. It has to be a piece of armor. Is the elytra a piece of armor? Maybe you could argue not, but if it's not, then something they should do, because on Java, something you might not know you can do, is you can place your shield in here with any banner, including the ominous banner, and then you can get... That is not the same banner. That does not look the same at all. Anyway, you can You can put you know, trims onto your thing if you really want to. And so an important reminder, if you do have any friends who play Java, if they put one of these banners on their shields, that is considered a giant red flag. Okay, that's the joke. Anyway, with that said, the important thing to note here is you can do this with shields on Java right now. The parity for it's been missing for years on Bedrock, but I think given the way that Elytras already work with your cape, I think this is really cool personally. I think you should be able to customize this yourself, rather than just having to go to a physical Minecon event, which I don't think they've existed since 2016, rather than having to go to a physical Minecon event 7 years ago. Instead, why can't you just put your Elytra in here with a banner? I think that trimming the Elytra could be a fun system, but I also think adding the banner would be a good alternative. You know, trims could be reserved for armor, and then all of the miscellaneous things like shields and Elytras, they could have the banners applied instead, allowing two different forms of customization for two different systems. I think that could be fun. I could also see how it's confusing, but I see how it's confusing right now. You can trim all of your armor, but instead shields come with the banner. So maybe a Bedrock exclusive could be that you trim your shield instead, because if they can't add banners to it, also shields are so weird on Java. Like what sense does this make? Look at this. Tell me this is the logical shield system, and tell me that this is an ominous banner. Look at it. Look at that inventory icon. It's so derpy. Tell me that this is an ominous banner, and tell me that this is a good feature. But speaking of good features that are only on Java, let me show you the new Create New World screen. So the Java menu screen is unchanged until you go to Single Player, and then you go to Create New World. And then there's and then you can see, wow, immediately, Game, World, and More are new tabs at the top. In fact, this whole screen looks different. If you want to see what it looked like before, it's something like this, and so that's kind of interesting. And honestly, if you look at Minecraft's old menu screen, so here's the one before that, here's the one before that, and here's the oldest Minecraft menu screen that I could find. And honestly, when you look at these menu screens, you can see like, wow, they all kind of look the same. They're all this just like generic background with the key information being here. But I think what's happening here, if I'm being totally honest, is they're you know, like Minecraft is changing the Create New World screen, and they could have made it more like Bedrock's. I don't like Bedrock's necessarily. I just don't think it's necessarily as ugly and basic. But instead, they're going for something like this. It seems as though even though Minecraft has all these artists employed, and genuinely they have UI and UX people, like people designed to make the user interface and user experience better, and yet we still end up with this being the best system. Is that intentional? I would have to guess so. It is. Honestly, this is an improvement over the old one. Like, well, we can, all the game stuff is here, the world stuff's here. You don't have to go back and forth like you did before, and now you can have all of this stuff be in its own place. But it just seems like it's, you know, this looks like it was designed by a programmer, which is great, and that's fine if that is the vibe they want from the Create New World screen, which, you know, maybe they genuinely do, but it's kind of jarring to me that you go from this beautiful background that reminds me a lot of the Minecraft, the regular Minecraft, the Bedrock background. You go from this to something like this when you hit multiplayer, to this when you hit realms, although this is incompatible apparently. The option, like every single menu looks the same with this dirt background. I think they could work out a background. I think they should just keep the background for this at a bare minimum. And I also think that this Create New World screen is in need of a little bit more work. Again, looks like it's made by a programmer. It's better than the current one, but it's also like, surely if we're focusing on parity is the big name of the game, shouldn't we make a brand new menu screen for both Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock that meets all the needs for both, rather than just saying like, this feels like a band-aid solution. Like, it's 5% better than the old menu screen, but it's like, I don't know, 70% worse than the new menu screen they made for Minecraft like 5 years ago now. I still love this menu screen. I still, every time I have to find it for my video, but they showed off what Minecraft's new menu screen was going to be, and then they scrapped it, and I'm still so confused. This would be the perfect place to put it. If it can't go on Bedrock because they need to keep the store visible, there's no store here on Minecraft Java, there's just realms, which isn't compatible with me anyway, and so that would be my solution. Create New World looks fine, it just could look a lot better. Speaking of things looking a lot better, I'm really excited for the new improved drop rates for all of the brand new trims, right? And if you don't know, I'm actually doing a nomad playthrough of Minecraft right now. This is it right here. And what happened last time is I died and lost all my stuff, which is, just to clarify, full armor, full everything, ender chests, shulker boxes. I lost it all in a bastion, and so my next episode, I'm gonna have to go in there and get it. But now because see, here's the thing. By dying last episode and then leaving it for future me, now when I open those chests, they'll have better odds, and so I might just get my bastion trim, I might just get my netherite upgrade, and hopefully, not too long after, I find my desert temple stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've also got a village here, so I can probably trade with them, try to get myself some good stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and if you wanna see that, make sure to stick around. Also, look, it's me on a camel. Isn't this fun? Do you love this internet? Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I really am, you know, I think it's a really good thing that they're adding new ways to customize your stuff in Minecraft. I think that's a good thing in a game that's all about customization. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what else they have in the chamber. Tomorrow we have a Bedrock beta. That could be bringing the sniffer, it looks like, as well. There's a lot of exciting things happening in Minecraft, and I'm excited to be living through the era of it. And I also am excited to see what other features are connecting the existing 1.20 things. But that's all stuff for the future. Hope you all enjoy the video, because I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Oh, also subscribe if you want to see more Minecraft update news, because this is one of the best places to find it, and me dying repeatedly while trying to get all the armor trims, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.